Hey guys, what's up? Mr. Sniper Shot 117 here. Today I'm bringing you guys my top 10 of 2012 movie review. These are all the movies that I enjoyed in 2012. They're by no means the best movies of 2012, just the movies that I thought were pretty good. Some of them you guys might disagree on, but I thought they were just pretty good, and that's why they made the list. So let's get started, guys. Okay guys, let's get started. So coming in at number 10, we have the movie Sinister. This is the description for Sinister. A true crime writer finds a cache of 8mm snuff films that suggest the murder he is currently researching is the work of a serial killer whose career dates back to 1960. To the 1960s. Sinister was a pretty good movie. I went into it not really knowing too much about what it was about, but the trailers looked pretty good, so that was enough for me to go see it. Also, it had Ethan Hawke in it, so I thought he's a great actor. He was great in the movie Alive and Lord of War with Nicolas Cage, so I thought, give it a try. I ended up going and seeing it with my friends, and I thought it was a great movie, and that's why it made my top 10 list. IMDb actually gave it a 6.8, which I agree with. It was a good movie, but it wasn't that great. But at the same time, enough to make it onto the list. Okay, so coming in at number 10, we have 21 Jump Street. I actually loved this movie. It was a great movie. Here's the description. A pair of underachieving cops are sent back to the local high school to blend in and bring down a synthetic drug ring. I don't know if too much people knew about this, but 21 Jump Street used to be an old show, I think back in the 80s. Obviously I wasn't old enough to know when it was on TV, but it had Johnny Depp in it. I thought 21 Jump Street was great. It was hilarious. It had action. It had everything that you could want in a kind of weird movie. It had what's his name in it? Jonah Hill. I loved him in Superbad. He was hilarious in that movie. Also, Get Him to the Greek, and I wasn't too sure about Channing Tatum when I went into seeing the movie. I wasn't sure if he was going to be weird or if he was going to be funny, if he was supposed to be the more serious one. But for most of the time, he actually was funnier than Jonah Hill, which you don't usually see. But I thought it was a good movie, and that's why it made number 9 on the list for me. IMDb gave it a 7.2 out of 10, which is actually really good which is actually a really good review for a movie like this, where it's actually a remake of an old TV show from the 80s. So coming in at number 8, we have The Dictator. I thought this was a hilarious movie. It was a great movie. I could not stop laughing throughout the movie. I love Sacha Baron Cohen. Him and Borat and Bruno. It was hilarious. So basically, the movie description is the heroic story of a dictator who risks his life to ensure that the democracy would never come to the country he's so lovingly oppressed. Basically, it's about a dictator who goes to New York City. Basically, someone tricks him, and people don't recognize him as the dictator anymore, so he ends up trying to save his country and oppress them again, because they're trying to be unoppressed. It was a weird movie, but I thought it was hilarious, and that's why it made it to number 8 on my list. IMDb gave it a 6.5 out of 10, which, it wasn't the best movie. Obviously, it wasn't supposed to be a serious movie. The acting wasn't amazing or anything, but Sacha Baron Cohen, of course, is always hilarious in the roles he plays as either the foreigner or either a gay person or, of course, in this movie as a dictator. So I thought it was pretty good. Um, Coming in at number 7 is The Avengers. I think everybody knows The Avengers, who hasn't seen the movie. So basically, the description of The Avengers is Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D. brings together a team of superheroes to form the Avengers to save the Earth from Loki and his army. This movie was directed by Joss Whedon, who also had the series on television. I think it was in 2001, Firefly. It didn't make it too far, but people seem to love the series, and that's why he ended up directing the Avengers. I thought it was a good movie. I saw the Hulk movies. I saw Captain America, Thor. Obviously, I saw both the Iron Man movies, and of course, I saw the Avengers. And basically, once you see all those movies, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, you basically have to see the Avengers. It was a build up of like 5 years of movies just for this one event. I thought Robert Downey Jr. was good in it. Everyone was good. I thought the Hulk was awesome. He looked awesome in the movie. He was crazy. Probably my favorite superhero in the Avengers, who's not actually a superhero at all, really. He has no real special powers, was actually Hawkeye, because I love the actor who plays him, Jeremy Renner. He's a great actor. So that's why I made it number 7 on my list. IMDb gave it a 8.3 out of 10, which is pretty high up there. It's a really high score for a movie like that, and a well-deserved score at the same time too. So next on the list is, coming in at number 6, The Hunger Games. I'm a person who read the Hunger Games book, so I went in kind of to the movie knowing what it was about slightly. But if you don't know what it's about, this is the little kind of overview of the movie. Katniss Everdeen, which is the main character, volunteers to take her younger sister's place in the Hunger Games, a televised fight to the death in which two teenagers from each district of Panem are chosen at random to compete. Before I read the book and before I actually saw the movie, I think everyone's first guess about the Hunger Games is, oh, is it a movie about food? I guess in a sense it is, because it's about survival, and they actually, once they make it inside the Hunger Games, or the arena, it is about survival, and it's about food, and, obviously food is hard to come by in there. I thought it was a great movie. The acting was good. Jennifer Lawrence was good. Josh Hutcherson was good in it. Liam Hemsworth. Woody Harrelson from was great in it. He was good. I thought the acting was good. I can't wait to see Catching Fire, and obviously Mockingjay, but that's a little bit ahead. Catching Fire is coming out this year, I think 2013, so I'm definitely going to go see that movie, Catching Fire, because I love the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games was number 6 on my list of 10 movies. IMDb gave it a 7.2 out of 10, which is very good, Although the Avengers got an 8.3 and the Hunger Games only got a 7.2, I'm going off the movies I enjoyed the most this year, and the Hunger Games are definitely up there. So coming in at number 5, we have Looper. I didn't see Looper until recently, and I really wanted to see it in theaters, but I ended up seeing it on DVD, and frankly, I loved this movie. I thought it was a really tight between my next top 4 movies, but I thought this movie was awesome. It was sci-fi, it had action. I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Bruce Willis. They were awesome. They're awesome actors, and you'll see why in a little bit why I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. So basically, the little bit of the overview of the story is, in 2074, when the mob wants to get rid of someone, the target is sent 30 years into the past where a hired gun awaits. Someone like Joe, who one day learns the mob wants to close the loop by transporting back Joe's future self. So basically, not to spoil anything, I mean, if you've seen the trailers, you basically get the hint, or if you've looked into the movie at all, basically, Joe, which is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Bruce Willis, Joe's a looper, which basically they, like the little overview said, they kill people from the future because basically in the future it's so impossible with all the technology to kill someone and get away with it that you have to send it back into the past to get the job done. And I thought the acting in it was great. The whole plot, the whole story, the directing was awesome. You know, a lot of people love this movie, and me myself, I enjoyed it a lot too. And that's why it's number 5, right in the middle of my top 10 movies of 2012 list. IMDb gave it a 7.7 out of 10, which is an amazing score for the movie. I think it could have been a little bit higher actually, but still, if you look at it on a scale of 1 to 100, that's an 84 out of 100. That's definitely a great score. So coming in at number 4 is The Hobbit. And if you guys saw my Django Unchained movie review, obviously, or my About Me, sorry, when I was introducing myself to YouTube, I think I might have told you guys that I'm a big fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I thought it was a great trilogy. I thought the films were awesome, and it was just great overall. And I definitely had to go see The Hobbit, being such a big fan of the Lord of the Rings. So basically, the overview of The Hobbit is a younger and more reluctant hobbit, Bilbo Baggins, sets out on an unexpected journey to the Lonely Mountain with a spirited group of dwarves to reclaim their stolen mountain, home from a dragon named Smug. Just the description of this movie alone makes me think about how much I love The Hobbit. The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit in general are awesome. I can't wait for them to make the next 2 movies, There and Back Again and The Desolation of Smug. I can't wait to go see them, but I'm not quite sure. This doesn't really have anything to do with The Hobbit because this was shot, all the scenes in here were shot directly just for this movie. They actually were only supposed to have 2 parts. It was only supposed to be The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, and There and Back Again, which is actually the 2 books by J.R. Tolkien. But they ended up dividing the second movie into a third movie after shooting the film, and I think they're going to use CGI to make some of the scenes in the Desolation of Smug, which is the very last movie in the Hobbit trilogy, the prequel to Lord of the Rings. I don't know how sure I am about that, but I guess, you know, we just gotta go with what they say. So for me, The Hobbit definitely deserves the 4th spot on my list, for sure. With a number 4 is perfect. It was kind of not too sure about where I should put it because the next 3 movies are definitely very important movies and they were definitely great. That's why I had a little bit of trouble about The Hobbit, deciding if I should put it 3rd or 2nd. Definitely I already knew which movie was going to be my number 1, so I knew The Hobbit was going in around there, number 2, 3, or 4. So IMDb gave The Hobbit an 8.4, which is an amazing score and definitely deserved for the movie. Okay guys, so this clip is just about to finish up and we still have 3 more movies left. So I'm just going to throw on another game that I have, and we'll finish up with the last 3 movies. Until then guys, enjoy the rest of the game and the music. Thanks, and I'll see you at the next. Okay, guys, and we're back with our top 10 movies of 2012. We're continuing at number 3, and coming in at number 3 is James Bond's Skyfall. James Bond is probably one of my favorite movie franchises of all time. I love the James Bond. I love, the spies, the secretness, the MI6. Um, and I definitely love Daniel Craig, who plays James Bond in Skyfall. I think he's an amazing. I think he's an amazing actor, and I think he played James Bond perfectly in this movie. So basically, the little overview of Skyfall is basically Bond's loyalty to M is tested as her past comes back to haunt her, bringing MI6 under attack. And I thought the acting in this movie was great. The villain, Javier Bardem, was awesome. Obviously, Daniel Craig was great. And it definitely deserves a number 3 spot on my list of top 10 movies. A little fun fact, if you didn't know, Daniel Craig was the first James Bond to actually have blonde hair. Obviously, everyone knows there's other James Bond movies. This is actually the 23rd James Bond, and Daniel Craig is the first James Bond ever. I think in its 50th year, in his 50 years of being a movie franchise, to have blonde hair. Just a little fun fact for you guys in case you weren't sure. IMDb gave Skyfall an 8.0 out of 10. I think it could have been higher. I think it maybe deserved like an 8.5 or even an 8.4, but I think 8.0 is still good. So anyways, guys, coming in at number 2, I've already made a video about this movie. It's Django Unchained. I thought it was a great movie. I just recently saw it, and I wasn't sure, kind of until I saw the movie. I knew I had to go see it, definitely, because it's by Quentin Tarantino. It has Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, Christoph Waltz, Samuel L. Jackson, all those great actors in it. So I knew I had to go check it out. And I'm glad I did, because it was definitely my second favorite movie of 2012. If you guys want to see a little bit longer review and a more in-depth review of Django Unchained, I've already made a video about it. It was my first movie review. I'll leave a link in the description or on screen somewhere for you to click and go check it out. But anyways, IMDb gave Django Unchained an 8.8 out of 10, and it was definitely well-deserved, and that's a fantastic score. So anyways, guys, the moment you've all been waiting for, my number 1 film of 2012, and for most people who know me, they definitely know that this was probably my favorite film, or is my favorite film of 2012, and that is The Dark Knight Rises. I'm a humongous fan of the Dark Knight trilogy. I own on Blu-ray the Dark Knight Rises trilogy, special edition. That comes with the Dark Knight. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, all the great movies I love, and definitely deserves a number 1 spot. So basically, the little overview of this, of The Dark Knight Rises, is 8 years on, a new terrorist leader, Bane, overwhelms Gotham's finest, and the Dark Knight resurfaces to protect a city that has branded him an enemy. So basically, this movie continues 8 years after The Dark Knight, and it was definitely cool stepping back into the Batman movies again. I was such a big fan of The Dark Knight when it came out in 2008. I loved Heath Ledger, loved Christian Bale, but this review is more about The Dark Knight Rises because it came out in 2012. So basically, the actors in it are Christian Bale, as Batman himself, the Dark Knight. Tom Hardy as Bane. I thought he played Bane perfectly. Some people were complaining about his voice, but I thought his voice was awesome. I thought he looked great in the movie. Looked exactly how I would picture a realistic Bane. And Anne Hathaway played Catwoman. I thought she was a great, I want to say kind of sidekick to Batman. I thought she acted great in this movie, and she made the movie a lot more interesting too, with her little behind the scenes with her. Also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I loved him in this movie. I also loved him in Looper. And seeing this movie made me seeing The Dark Knight made me want to see Looper even more because of how good I thought he was in this movie. So anyways, IMDb gave The Dark Knight Rises 8.7 out of 10. I think it's definitely a well-deserved score. It definitely deserved this, and it definitely deserves to be number one on my list for top 10 movies of 2012. I just want to say thanks for watching, guys, if you're still here, and I hope you enjoyed the review, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time, guys. Thanks.